all you are welcome. And with the grace of Maharaji, we will start to learn more and more depth of Bhagavatam, which is the nectar of all the scriptures. Thank you. Over to DVG for Sankirtan or Anjan Bhaiya ji. And then the structure of the program will be after the Sankirtan, Rajesh Bhaiya ji will be taking us through the Bhagavatam depth, followed by a little break where Vikas will introduce the new devotees, and followed by again Rajesh ji, and Rajesh ji will take over the questions and answers, which are anybody have got it, even the current devotees or new devotees. Please don't worry, because it is useful for all of us. Thank you, Radhe Radhe, and welcome. Thank you.
I start?
Yes, Didi. Yes, start.
Okay. तेरा नाम सुन के दाता दर पर फकीर आया, तेरा नाम सुन के दाता दर पर फकीर आया, उस नाम के मुताबिक कर दे करम खुदाया, उस नाम के मुताबिक कर दे करम खुदाया, सुनते जो भी आया भर भर के झोली पाया, सुनते जो भी आया भर भर के झोली पाया, पर यह फकीर मौला झोली न संग लाया, पर यह फकीर मौला झोली न संग लाया, तेरा नाम सुन के दाता दर पर फकीर आया, उस नाम के मुताबिक कर दे करम खुदाया, कर दे करम खुदाया, कर दे करम खुदाया, घर खाली हाथ लौटा, घर खाली हाथ लौटा, तो कान कर सुन, घर खाली हाथ लौटा, तो कान खोल कर सुन, तो कान खोल कर सुन, तो कान खोल कर सुन, जो जाएगा जहाँ से तेरे नाम का सफाया, जो जाए जहाँ है तेरे नाम का सफाया, तेरे नाम सफाया, तेरे नाम का सफाया, सामान दे अना दे, सामान दे अना दे, मर्जी तेरी है रहबर, सामान दे अना दे, मर्जी तेरी है रहबर, मर्जी तेरी है रहबर, मर्जी तेरी है रहबर, झोली तो दे दे दाता, ठोकर बहुत है खाया, झोली तो दे दे दाता, ठोकर बहुत है खाया, ठोकर बहुत है खाया, ठोकर बहुत है खाया, तेरा नाम सुन के दाता, दर पर फकीर आया, तेरा नाम सुन के दाता, दर पर फकीर आया, उस नाम के मुताबिक, उस नाम के मुताबिक, कर दे करम खुदाया, कर दे करम खुदाया, कर दे करम खुदाया, है देर तेरे घर में, अंधेर तो नहीं है, देर तेरे घर में, अंधेर तो नहीं है, आशिक कृपालु न यह, आशिक कृपालु ने यह राज है बताया, आशिक कृपालु न यह राज है बताया, राज है बताया, राज है बताया, तेरा नाम सुन के दाता, तेरा नाम सुन के दाता, दर पर फकीर आया, उस नाम के मुताबिक, उस नाम के मुताबिक, कर दे करम खुदाया, कर दे करम खुदाया, कर दे करम खुदाया, झोली न संग लाया, झोली न संग लाया, पर यह फकीर मौला, पर यह फकीर मौला, पर यह फकीर मौला, जो जाएगा जहाँ से, जो जाएगा जहाँ से, तेरे नाम का सफाया, नाम सफाया, तेरे नाम का सफाया, झोली तो दे दे दाता, झोली तो दे दे दाता, ठोकर बहुत है खाया, ठोकर बहुत है खाया, ठोकर बहुत है खाया, आशिक कृपालु नयः, आशिक कृपालु नयः, राज है बताया, आशिक कृपालु नयः, राज है बताया। श्रीमद् सतगुरु सरकार की जय।
कस्तूरी तिलकं ललाट पटले, वक्षस्थले कौस्तुभम्, नासाग्रे वर्मौक्तिकं, करतले वेणुकरे कङ्कणम्, सर्वाङ्गे हरिचन्दनं सुललितम्, कंठे च मुक्तावली, गोपास्त्री परिवेष्टितो विजयते, गोपाल चूरामणि, वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं, देवकी परमानन्दम्, कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं, कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं। गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णु गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः, गुरु साक्षात् परब्रह्म, तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः, तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। Our koti koti pranam to the lotus feet of Sri Hari and Sri Guru. Our koti koti pranam to Swami Mukundanand Ji. My humble pranam to each one of you. And now let us read from the Canto 3 of Srimad Bhagwat Mahapuran. So far we have covered the 6 chapters of Bhagwat Mahatamya. Then we went into the first canto and we learned from the 19 chapters. Then we went into the second canto where there were 10 chapters, and now we are into the third canto, which has 33 chapters. In the third canto, we have started with the conversation between Uddhav ji and Maitreya ji. We learned about the past of Vidur ji, how he had been cursed by Mandabya Rishi, and the law of karma was very well captured in that story, that at a young age, sage Mandabya had hurt of an insect. He had poked a needle into the butterfly, and that sin, it has resulted into such a event that this man with the trident was coming to attack him. But he, being such an exalted sage, he did not appreciate it. He called out for Yamraj and cursed him that you go to the Prithvi Lok and you become a resident on the earthly planet. So that is how Vidurji came and descended as the younger brother of Dhritarashtra. and Vidurji had been insulted by Duryodhan. He was roaming about the pilgrim centers, and then he meets Uddhavji, who is breaking to him the news about Sri Krishna's departure. Sri Krishna has ascended to the Golok Dham, and that news is very heartbreaking to both of them. And but they take this opportunity to recall the pastimes of Sri Krishna. Uddhavji narrates the childhood pastimes of Sri Krishna and also the different pastimes. Then Uddhavji was instructed to go and Uddhavji instructed Vidurji to go and meet Maitreya Rishi and learn the Katha from him. So that is the background for the conversation between Maitreya ji and Vidurji. Vidurji raised a number of questions and Maitreya ji answered them. In those answers, there are also conversations between Sut Goswami and Sanakadik Rishis. And the answers related to the creation of the cosmos and the Virat Sharir, the cosmic form. So here you can see Maitreya Rishi tells Vidurji, we have heard that Brahmaji, and while this conversation was going on, there was an interesting episode which is there on this slide. So if we just read it, Maitreya Rishi tells Vidurji, we have heard that Brahmaji got attracted to his own daughter Saraswati, who was very beautiful. Seeing such sinful intentions, his son Marichi, etc., said to him, Father, you are so capable, still you are showing such indiscretions. No Brahma has ever done this before. You nor any other Brahma will do this in future. It is not right for you. Brahmaji was ashamed of his act. He left his body. The directions, the dishas took him away, his body away, and what was created was called mist or fog or darkness. Then he took another body and created other objects. First appeared the 4 Vedas from his 4 mouths, Rig Veda from the east, Yajur Veda from south, Sam Veda from west, and Atharva Veda from north. So as we know, our Chaturmukhi Brahmaji, he has these 4 heads, and we also learnt Tene Hriday Adi Vidaya Kavye Muhyanti Yat Suryaha. How the Lord imparted the knowledge of the Bhagwat Katha to Brahmaji, and that led to assimilation of all the knowledge. And then Brahmaji was empowered to create the cosmos. And along with the creation, the Vedas were also manifested. And this is how the 4 Vedas were revealed. Vedas are eternal, but from time to time, it is lost and again resurfaced. In this slide, we read about Brahmaji creating many kinds of knowledge, like the Up-Vedas. Up-Vedas are the subsections of Vedas. Then he created the knowledge of justice, Nyaya Shastra, Karma of the 4 Ritvij, the 4 ashrams, Chand, these are the musical terms, alphabets, 7 swaras, Sare Gama Pa, Dha, Ni, those musical notes. All these were created by Brahmaji, and there is a detailed description in Bhagavad. He also wrote Ayurveda, which is the system of medicine, Dhanurveda, archery, Gandharva Ved, music, and Asthapatya Ved, which is a sculpture. These 4 Upveds were created by his mouth in the east. Then he wrote the 5th Ved, Itihas and Puran, Ramayana, Mahabharata, and Puran. So later he found that his 10 sons were not able to produce as many progeny as he had expected. So he contemplated about what to do next. So this is about the creation by Brahmaji, that first Brahmaji created those Manas Putras, the children who were born from his meditation. Like we have spoken about it in the previous session. The first four personalities were Sanat, Sanatan, Sanak, Sanandan, the Kumar brothers. Then Naradji also appeared from his body, and so was Rudra, who is the form of Lord Shiv. Kardamji appeared from his shadow. So all these Manas Putras are different Prajapatis, and the rishis were born from Brahmaji's meditation. And then came the Mathuni Shrishti from Manuji and Shatrupaji. This we have already covered. And if we continue, we also learn that the Manuji's and Shatrupaji's ascension, their creation preceded the body of Brahmaji getting divided into two parts. And that is why he is called, this division of body is referred as Kaya. So K is the name of Lord Brahma. Because of this division, the body is referred to as the Kaya. The divided parts led to manifestation of a man and a woman, Manu and Shatrupa. From then onwards, population progress on the basis of Mathuni Shrishti, birth based on union of man and woman. Manu had two sons, Priyavrat and Uttanpad, and three daughters, Akuti, Devhuti, and Prasuti. Manuji married Akuti to Ruchi Prajapati. His daughter Akuti was married to Ruchi Prajapati, whereas the daughter Devhuti was married to Kardam Rishi, born from the shadow of Brahmaji. The third daughter Prasuti was married to Daksh Prajapati ji, who was born from Brahmaji's thumb. Daughters of these three women produce many children. So we know that Daksh Prajapati's daughter is Sati, and she was married to Lord Shiv, and that story we will learn in Canto 4. But let us see the next slide. So in the next slide, which comes from the chapter 26 of Canto 3, is based on Lord Kapil's teachings of origins of Mahatattva, etc., different elements. So we have so far learned that the creation is infinite. 3/4 of the creation is spiritual, and 1/4 of the creation is material. The spiritual creation is eternal. It is not subject to destruction, whereas the material creation is constantly being destructed and being revived. Now, how many universes are there in the material creation? The number of universes is infinite. And how large is each universe? That is also infinitely large. The universe in which we live is 4 billion miles in diameter. And this is one of the smallest universes, because the number of heads on Brahmaji's head, on Brahmaji's neck, represents the size of the universe. So our Brahmaji has only 4 heads. So the size of the universe is so much smaller compared to Brahmaji's, who have 10 heads, 100 heads, 1,000 heads, 10,000 heads, 100,000 heads. Chaitanya Charitamrita describes that there are Brahmajis with the heads 1 million and 10 million. Now, this is just to understand the unfathomable, infinite extent of the creation. The more we can think of, the bigger than our thinking, so to say. So there is absolutely no limit. It is infinite. So any attempt by us to measure it and to understand with our limited mind is going to be completely futile. So this should only keep strengthening the fact that there is no limit for God. Everything about God, everything about divine is unlimited and infinite. Everything about Sri Krishna is infinite. If somebody says how many names Sri Krishna has, we should say Sri Krishna has infinite names. How many abodes he has? He has infinite abodes. How many leelas he has? He has infinite leelas. How many how many qualities he has, infinite qualities. This is the way to describe the Lord, and as the material creation of the Lord, as the human beings, we have very, very limited understanding, but we should be very thankful that we are at least getting to hear about it, because obtaining the divine knowledge and connecting our soul to the Lord is the reason why this body was given to us. So the first grace is getting the human body, and the next grace is to have someone like Sri Kripaluji Maharaj as our Guru, who is such a unique divine personality. So we have got 2 graces already showered on us. The third is our hunger for God, our hunger for this divine knowledge that we have to keep enhancing. In Bhakti Shatak, Sri Maharaj Ji has written that 100 बातन की बात एक, हरहूँ मुरलीधर ध्यान राधे राधे, बरहु सेवा वासना, 100 ज्ञानन की ज्ञान राधे राधे. I have spoken about this, but it's worth repeating because it gives us the direction with which we have to move in the material life that we have got. So, 100 बातन की बात, out of 100 nuggets of knowledge, what is the greatest? Out of the 100 nuggets of advices, what is the greatest advice? What is the greatest understanding? That we have to meditate on the form of Murlidhar. Who is Murlidhar? The person who carries the flute. The reference is about Sri Krishna. So that is our goal. And Badhavahu Seva Vasana. And we have to enhance the sentiments of devotion for that personality, that Sri Krishna is the goal of our life. And that has prompted us to read about Sri Krishna, which is Sri Bhagwat Mahapuran. So we were at the slide where we are learning about the creation of Brahmaji, and how from his body the tricolored gunas, from his body all the different elements, all the different objects have been created, all the different personalities were created from his Manas Putra and Manu and Shatrupa. That we learned. Now we are getting a glimpse of the creation. So I was mentioning that Sri Krishna, he is also called the Purush, and the Purush and Prakriti combine to manifest the universe. And the Prakriti is characterized by 3 gunas, Sattvic, Rajasic and Tamasic. So the tricolored gunas, which is unmanifest, eternal, and in the form of both cause and result, and thought without attribute itself is the shelter of entire religiosity called Pradhan. So this is a little description of Pradhan, which is also known as Prakriti. So what is Pradhan? This is the unmanifest energy, which is tricolored, the 3 gunas, and that Prakriti with the union of the Purush, then it transforms into Panch Mahabhut, Panch Tanmatra, Antahkaran, etc. So this is how the Prakriti then manifests into the 5 gross elements: earth, water, fire, air, and space. The 5 sense objects, which is the touch, smell, etc. 4 states of mind: Chitta, Man, Buddhi, and Ahankar, which constitutes the Antahkaran, and the 10 senses. Out of the 10 senses, 5 are Karmendriya and 5 are Gyanendriya. Shrotra, Tvacha, Chakshu, Rasna, Nasika are the sense of knowledge, Gyanendriya, and Vak, Pani, Pad, Upastha, and Payu are the Karmendriya, the action senses. These 24 elements is considered the action of Prakriti. And Purush Bhagwan is also known as Kal, and he is also considered as a 25th element. So when we describe the creation in these 25 elements, this is called Sankhya Shastra, and the person who is giving this knowledge is Kapil Dev Bhagwan. So Kapil Dev Ji is also called Sankhya-charya. Let us see the next slide. We will first complete the slides and then read a little more. Param Purush Paramatma impregnates the creation with the jivas within it, which leads to the effulgent Mahatattva, removing the darkness of Pralaya. So as we know, we are talking about one day of Brahma and one night of Brahma. So during the day, the creation is manifest, and in the night, Brahmaji goes to sleep. So there is Pralaya. But that Pralaya is not the complete destruction of the Brahmand, it is only partial destruction. So there is darkness. So when the day begins again, the Paramatma, he revives the jivas, and it's like the cricket match, the test match where the batsmen went back to the pavilion because the day ended, and next day they will come back at the same status. Whatever score they were playing, they will come and resume the innings. Similarly, the jivas which were sent into the suspension because of the pralaya will reappear, and that process will be caused by Paramatma. Then the creation can also be understood by another very popular depiction, that first Sri Krishna, he transforms into Balaram, and Balaram transforms into 4 Chaturvyuha, which is called Sankarshan, Pradyumna, Aniruddha, and Vasudev. So this is called Adi Chakravyu. And then the next transformation is Narayan. And from Narayan, the second Chaturvyu is formed, which is again Sankarshan, Pradyumna, Aniruddha, and Vasudev. And then from the second Chaturvyu, the Pratham Purush, Mahavishnu appears, and from Mahavishnu's pores, the universes appear. Every time he inhales, the universes are dissolved, and every time he exhales, the universes are created. So that is how the universes are coming from the pores of Mahavishnu. He is also called Karnadakshai Vishnu. He is in the Karnodak ocean. The Birja is also called the causal ocean. That is the place of Pratham Vishnu, Mahavishnu, or Karnodakshai Vishnu. And from Karnodakshai Vishnu, Garbhodakshai Vishnu will appear. And from his navel, Brahmaji will appear. This is what we learned. And then there is a third Vishnu who is called Kshirodakshai Vishnu. He will enter the heart of every jiva, and he also sits at the top of the Brahmand. So these are the 3 Vishnus. So to learn a little about Vasudev and Sankarshan, so we can read the point number 5. Vasudev is the Chit entity, which is sattvic, pure and tranquil. He is also called Mahatattva in Adibhut, and which has the Adhisdhata as Kshetragya. A little complicated, complex knowledge, but we can just take a note. Sankarshan is the Ahankar element and is in the form of the 1,000-headed Anantadev. So the Anantashesh we see at the bottom of the universe. So if you see the structure of the universe, first you have the giant tortoise, the Kurma. And on top of that is Adishesh with 1,000 heads. That Adishesh is also called Anantadev and is also called Sankarshan. And he is the one who is holding the entire universe. So let's see the next slide. So this is how it is depicted here. First Purus and Prakriti, then the Mahatattva, then Ahankar, and Prakriti, which has 3 qualities, Sattvic, Rajasic, and Tamasic. So with the Sattvic Ahankar, the Man and the 5 Gyanendriya and the 5 Karmendriyas are created. And from the Ahankar with the Tamasic, the 5 Tanmatras and the 5 Bhutas, the Panch Mahabhut, are created. Let's go to the next slide. So this is also pretty much the same. The slides will be sent on the WhatsApp, so you can read in detail later. But this is pretty much the same depiction. Let's see the next one. Here, the creation is describing the three different lokas. So first, the Golok, which is a part of the spiritual realm in which Sri Krishna resides. The lower than that is Vaikunt, which is the abode of Vishnu. And then the portion at the bottom is the material world. So again, whatever I said just now, the Pratham Chakravyuh, Pratham Chaturvyuha, or the Adi Chaturvyuha, then Narayana, then Dvitiya Chaturvyuha, and Mahavishnu, and then the creation, Pratham Purus, Dvitiya Purus. It's another description of the same, which you can read at leisure later. Let us see the next one. So this is a video which also you can see later, which will give you a glimpse of the entire. So here we have some takeaways which are based on Bhagwat Gita. So in Bhagwat Gita, in 9th chapter, the Lord says, Sarva Bhutani Kaunteya Prakritim Yanti Mamikam Kalpaksheya Punastani Kalpadav Vrisijamyaham Prakritim Swama Vastabhya Visrijami Puna Puna Bhutagramam Imam Kritsnam Vasham Prakrite Varshat. At the end of one kalp, all living beings merge into my primordial material energy. At the beginning of the next creation, O son of Kunti, I manifest them again. Residing over my material energy, I generate these myriad forms again and again in accordance with the force of their natures. Next. So this is to relate the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita with whatever is described in Bhagavatam. Bhagavad Gita is also telling the same thing in a very brief manner. The 9th verse of Bhagavad Gita, chapter 9 says, Nacha mam tani karmani nibadnanti dhananjaya udasina vadasinam asaktam teshu karmasu. O conqueror of wealth, none of these actions bind me. I remain like a neutral observer, ever detached from these actions. So what Krishna is saying, that I create this entire universe through my different manifestations, Narayan, Mahavishnu, Garbhodakshai Vishnu, Brahma, etc. But I am neutral and I am unattached to all these. So this is the great quality of the Lord. It is one of his opulences that he creates all these wonderful creation, but he is unattached to that. Then the last verse in this series, verse number 10 in the next slide is Mayyadhyakshena prakriti suyate sacharacharam hetu nanena kaunteya jagadvi parivartate. Working under my direction, this material energy brings into being all animate and inanimate forms, O son of Kunti. For this reason, the material world undergoes the changes of creation, maintenance, and dissolution. So these are some takeaway verses to illustrate the connection with Bhagavad Gita. And then I will very quickly cover a few more points from 3rd canto. So after the description of the creation, Brahmaji also created this time scale. The time factor is also described in Bhagavad, like Truti and Bodh and Love and Chan and Nimes and Prahar and Yam. For example, 1 Chan is equal to only 1.6 seconds. So it is such a small unit. And if you remember, while we were describing the sun, we said the sun moves a distance of 16,016 miles in 1 Chan. So that is that high speed of sun we noted. So there are very small units and there are very long units in the time scale. And after the time scale description, etc., we learned about the Varaha Avatar, the boar incarnation of the Lord, in which the purpose was to kill Hiranyaksha. And how Hiranyaksha and Hiranyakashipu, his brother, they were born to Diti, who is the wife of Kashyapji. That also we covered in the last session, that Diti was very much restless to have the child, because other wives of Kashyapji, they had children, and Diti also was having this great sentiment, but the time she selected was not auspicious, was not appropriate. And then as a result, the two demoniac personalities, Hiranyaksha and Hiranyakashipu, they were born to her. And who are these Hiranyaksha and Hiranyakashipu? They have been cursed by Sankadik rishis in Vaikuntha Lok, when they stopped Sankadik rishis when they were visiting Lord Vishnu in Vaikuntha. So the four brothers, they had got angry and they had cursed Jay and Vijay. But because this was the Leela, the Jay and Vijay have to descend in the earthly planet. And that was one of the reasons why the Lord descended, because the Lord promised them, okay, you have been cursed by these Sankadik rishis, but in every yuga, I will myself come down, descend, and take you away. So the Lord came as Ram and took Kumbhakarna and Ravan in Treta Yuga. The Lord came as Varah and Narsingh and took away Hiranyaksha and Hiranyakashipu, who were Jay and Vijay. And the same Jay and Vijay were born as Shishupal and Dantvakra in Dwapar, and Krishna took them away. Means Krishna killed them. So killing of the personality by the Lord is the liberation for the person. So Hiranyaksha was finally killed by Varah Bhagwan. And then the story moves to Kardamji's tapasya. Let's do a time check. So, okay, Kardamji tapasya. Kardamji, who is born from Brahmaji's shadow, is approached by Lord Vishnu, who is telling him to participate in the creation. And the proposal comes that Manuji has the daughter Devhuti, so she should marry Kardamji. Kardamji finally decides to say yes on the condition that the Lord himself will be born to him. So that explains how the Lord was born to Kardam Rishi and Devhuti as Kapil Devji. And about his teachings, we just learned how he delivered the knowledge of Sankhya. And Kardamji and Devhuti were married. For the first few years, Kardamji went into great austerities, tapasya, and that is the time when Devhuti ji served him so much that she became very weak and frail and emaciated. And when Kardamji finally came out of his tapasya, he recognized the sacrifice made by Devhuti, and then her body was revived into very healthy and beautiful. And then they had 9 daughters, and finally Kapil Dev Ji was born. We will learn about the 9 daughters of Devhuti in later chapters and how the creation proceeded. So as we mentioned, we should always remember Uttanpad and Priyavrat, 2 sons of Manuji, 3 daughters, Akuti, Prasuti and Devhuti. Akuti was married to Ruchi Prajapati. Devhuti got married to Kardam Rishi, and Prasuti got married to Daksh Prajapati. So their children will be the cause for the population to grow. So now what happens is, when Kapil Dev Ji grows up, the mother Devhuti, once he asks him to give her the knowledge that why this material world is so attractive and keeps us away from the Lord, and how to get detached, and what are the mystical the facts and figures. That is explained by Kapil Dev Ji. He is the son, but he became the teacher. He made him sit on a pedestal, and then Kapil Dev Ji delivered all the knowledge, and that constitute the last few chapters of this canto. So in that discourse, Kapil Dev Ji answers different questions of Devhuti. He glorifies the Bhakti Yoga. He talks about the different elements of the Mahatattva. He talks about Prakriti and Purush. He talks about Karma. He talks about the Yoga, Ashtanga Yoga, Yam, Niyam, Asan, Pranayam, Pratyahar, Dhyan, Dharana, Samadhi. He talks about Bhakti Yoga. He talks about Sankhya Yoga. He talks about what is the situation of those who are attached to the material world, and how this material creation, the material attachment is so binding. He describes how the child is born in the mother's womb, how the child grows. That depiction is also very apt, that in 1 week it takes the form of a pea, like the matter, and then in 1 month it becomes a small spherical shape, and then how the different holes in the face and the body appear, and how in 3 months it takes up the full body, and then after 5 months how it starts absorbing the food which the mother is consuming. So the entire process is so very well described, which is so astounding to read. And so he gives the complete depiction of the material world, the material attachment. He also talks about the process of leaving the body. And there are 2 processes described, Dhum Marg and Archir Adi Marg. And finally, after all the knowledge is distributed, Kardam ji has already left home, and Devhuti ji, after receiving the knowledge, she also gives up her body. But when she gives up her body, she transforms into the reservoir. So the place is called Siddhapad, and the sarovar which is made from the water in which she transformed is called Bindu Sarovar, and that place is well known for Matri Yag. It's in Gujarat. Like Pitri Yag, the place which is well known is Gaya. For Matri Yog, it is Bindu Sarovar, and it's also called Siddhapad. So that's how Devhuti ji, she merged into the water, and how Kapil Dev Ji, he also went, and he went into the bank of Ganga. That is how this canto ends. At this point, we should hand over to Vikas ji and Anjan ji for any question or any feedback or any introduction.
Yes, sir. I think we will ask first. Arsit ji. Anyone have any question?
Any question, any comments, any feedback, any addition to whatever was stated, and if anything was missed out, if you all have some more information, just to make the session a little interactive, we invite you all to share your points.
Arsit, would you like to have the introduction?
Harshit ji, yes.
If not, then
Okay. While Harshit ji prepares, anyone else? Anjan Bhaiya, you want to say something?
I can only say that it's a wonderful session, and it's like learning many things which I didn't know even. I never studied Bhagavatam like the book itself, but I have heard the discourses from Maharaji, and but not in this detail like the whole human life creations, the time factors, and all that stuff, how the universe is formed, etc. This is it takes me into a completely separate a dimension altogether, I would say. So this is so fascinating to hear all this, and I really enjoy yeah
Thank you
Smita
very
ji,
hearing all this.
thanks Anjan bhaiya. Smita ji.
Unmute कर लीजिए, please unmute.
Naveen ji has joined as well, so I don't know whether
Yeah.
he has introduced himself before.
Yeah,
Yes.
so
Naveen ji, would you
Smita
like
ji
to introduce?
is saying something, but please unmute. Can you help her to unmute, Vikas ji?
Okay. Okay, let's hear from Naveen ji first. I think so. Naveen ji, go ahead.
I introduce the last two sessions.
Is there any feedback or
Okay.
questions?
No, I don't have any questions. Yeah, thank you.
Okay, thank you. Smita ji, are you able to unmute now?
Now she is unmute.
ओके नमस्ते भैया।
Namaste.
बहुत बहुत बढ़िया सेशन था। इतना ज्ञान तो हमें पता ही नहीं है कि इतना कुछ है सुनने के लिए भागवतम से। और आपने पूछा कि आप लोगों को कुछ ऐड करना है, अगर कुछ पता रहे तब इंसान ऐड कर सके। तो जो कुछ भी सुना सब कुछ बहुत ही नया और बहुत ही आनंददायक था। बस यूं ही आप आगे भी हमें ज्ञान देते रहे और हम उस ज्ञान के भंडार से थोड़ा सा कुछ अपने लिए भी उठा सके, यही भगवान से हमारी प्रार्थना है। और आगे भी आप लोग इसी तरह इसी उत्साह से भागवतम की सारी कहानियों और कथाओं को हमारे बीच रखें। भगवान से यही हमारी प्रार्थना है और हम सभी उनसे कुछ प्रेरणा ले सकें अपने जीवन को और भी बढ़िया बनाने के लिए। थैंक यू सो मच, बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद।
बहुत बढ़िया, राधे राधे, बहुत अच्छे
मलिक
शब्दों से जी।
मलिक भैया कुछ कहना चाहते हैं?
पहले संदीप भैया या सोनी दीदी जी कुछ कहना चाह रही हैं
जी,
तो
संदीप
आप कहें। मेरा एक सिंपल सा क्वेश्चन है ब्रजेश भैया, ब्रजेश जी, जो माया शक्ति है वो भगवान की जो है अपनी पर्सनल शक्ति है और इसमें महाराज जी शब्द यूज करते हैं ख्वाहिशा, देवी ख्वाहिशा गुणमयी मम माया दुरत्या। ख्वाहिशा का क्या मतलब है?
देवी ही ऐशा गुणमयी मम माया दुरत्यया, वो श्लोक की बात कर रहे हैं।
हाँ जी भैया।
हाँ, तो वहां भगवान कह रहे हैं, मतलब हमारी जो शक्ति माया शक्ति है दुरत्यया इज एक्सट्रीमली स्ट्रॉन्ग एंड पावरफुल। बहुत सिंपल श्लोक है। देवी ही ऐशा गुणमयी मम माया दुरत्यया मामेव ये प्रपद्यन्ते माया मेताम तरन्ति ते। चूंकि भगवान की शक्ति है तो माया शक्ति भगवान की शक्ति है, ये सारा मटेरियल एनर्जी उन्हीं की शक्ति है, इसीलिए उसको पार पाना हमारे वश में नहीं है। तो उसका उपाय यही है कि we surrender to the Lord, we go in His shelter, and if our surrender, if our devotion is genuine, then by the grace of the Lord removes the effect of Maya from us. By our own efforts, it is impossible to fathom the onslaught of Maya. यही इस श्लोक का आशय है।
थैंक यू भैया जी।
राजेश भैया,
और ये डिवाइन है भैया जी, ये जो सारी है शक्ति जो है ये डिवाइन है,
सब कुछ
अलौकिक है।
डिवाइन ही है, सब कुछ डिवाइन ही है, क्योंकि वही अद्वैत का नियम यही है कि हर 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 एलिमेंट को हम डिवाइन मानते हैं।
हाँ जी,
लेकिन इसका ये मतलब नहीं है कि जीव और भगवान एक हैं। तो अद्वैत का सही निरूपण महाराज जी ने जो किया, द मीनिंग ऑफ अद्वैत, दैट भेद भी है और अभेद भी है। द जीव एंड गॉड, like our body is made up of Maya, our mind is made up of Maya, our soul is divine, but is our soul equal to God? It is the energy, means the sun and the sun rays. So sun rays and the sun are completely integrated. There is no difference in one way. But we cannot say that the sun rays and the sun are the same also. For example, the ocean and the waves, they are integrated. The waves and the ocean, they don't exist separately. They always exist together. But there is a difference also between the waves and the ocean. You can float a ship in the ocean, but you cannot float the ship in a wave. So this is called bhed abhed, differentiation and the similarity also. So to answer the question, Maya is divine energy. It is the divine energy, but it is Jar Shakti. It is not alive by its own. It needs the power of God. For example, our body, if the soul goes out, the body falls down. The body will not move. So the power of the body is coming from the soul. So that is the difference between Maya Shakti and the Para Shakti and the divine Shakti. Ji.
थैंक यू भैया, थैंक यू।
शीला जी, yeah.
मैं ये पूछ रही थी भैया, what I was saying, hold on 1 second, am I unmute? Can you hear me please? Yeah.
Yes,
What I was
can
saying,
hear you, yes,
हाँ,
yeah.
कि आपने जो बताया कि भागवतम में पूरे किस तरह बच्चा पूरे उसके 9 महीने की जो प्रक्रिया होती है वो सब आपने भागवतम में लिखा है। ये जान के मुझको भी बहुत अचंभा हुआ, जैसे अंजन भैया भी कह रहे थे कि इतने डिटेल में सब लिखा हुआ है उसमें। तो ये बहुत बहुत पहली दफे मैंने सुना है। मैं भागवतम बिल्कुल नहीं जानती हूँ, थोड़ा बहुत सुना हुआ है टीवी के माध्यम से, महाराज जी के प्रवचनों से, थोड़ा बहुत मुकुंदानंद भैया के उनके लेक्चर से, पर जो आप डिटेल में बता रहे हैं उतना ज्ञान तो कभी और जो कथावाचक होते हैं वो भी एकदम रैपिडली बोलते हैं, तो इतना ज्ञान तो पहली दफे हम लोगों को सुनने मिल रहा है। तो हम लोग बहुत भाग्यशाली समझते हैं कि आप हम लोगों को इतना नॉलेज दे रहे हैं। थैंक यू।
बहुत बढ़िया, इसको मैं पढ़ देता हूँ, क्योंकि जब मैं पहली बार पढ़ा तो आई वॉज ऑल्सो सो एस्टाउंडेड। दिस इज फ्रॉम द 31st चैप्टर, मनुष्य योनि को प्राप्त हुए जीव की गति का वर्णन। श्री भगवान कहते हैं, माता जी, जब जीव को मनुष्य शरीर में जन्म लेना होता है तो वह भगवान की प्रेरणा से अपने पूर्व कर्मानुसार देह प्राप्ति के लिए पुरुष के वीर्य कण के द्वारा स्त्री के उदर में प्रवेश करता है। वहां एक रात्रि में स्त्री के रज में मिलकर एक रूप कलल बन जाता है, 5 रात्रि में बुदबुदे रूप हो जाता है, 10 दिन में बेर के समान कुछ कठिन हो जाता है, और उसके बाद मांसपेशी अथवा अंडज प्राणियों में अंडे के रूप में परिणत हो जाता है। 1 महीने में उसके सिर निकल आते हैं, 2 मास में हाथ पांव आदि अंगों का विभाग हो जाता है, 3 मास में नख रोम अस्थि चर्म स्त्री पुरुष के चिन्ह तथा अन्य छिद्र उत्पन्न हो जाते हैं, 4 मास में उसमें मांसादि 7 धातुएं पैदा हो जाती है, 5वें महीने में भूख प्यास लगने लगती है, और 6ठे मास में झिल्ली से लिपटकर वह दाहिनी कोख में घूमने लगता है। उस समय माता के खाए हुए अन्न जल आदि से उसकी सब धातुएं पुष्ट होने लगती है, और वह कृमि आदि जंतुओं के उत्पत्ति स्थान उस जघन्य मलमूत्र के गड्ढे में पड़ा रहता है। तो ये द लॉर्ड इज डिस्क्राइबिंग द पोजीशन ऑफ द सोल व्हेन इट एंटर्स द बॉडी, and the body starts forming, and when it is about to be born, it remembers the past lives and it prays to the Lord oh Lord, I don't want to be born again and suffer in the material world. He realizes that material world is not the best place to be born, but it is too late. So he has to be born, and when he is born, his memory of the previous lives is taken away. So all this is very fascinating. Thank you so much for your comments.
Yeah. So, Hindi, you would like to say something?
Only if there's time.
Yeah, just last word, 1 minute. Yeah.
Okay, Radhe Radhe Rajeshji. Really grateful for all the details that you are sharing. I had read the Bhagavatam a very long time ago. I had read the ISKCON one, but what you are giving is filling in a lot of gaps for me, because it was not as detailed, and especially with the illustrations and what you are sharing with us. It's everything's falling into place, and I can clearly, it's very clear, what all the knowledge that you are sharing, especially for me today, the Chatur views. I had heard about them, and but I had no idea, where they were falling in the avatars, so really grateful, very, very beneficial to me.
Thank
Radhe
you so
Radhe.
much. Thank you so much.
Bhaiya, quickly to add on that, the Chaturvhyus, I had also some confusion. The Vasudev, yeah, it's not Vasudev, Lord Vasudev, like Krishna, right? So the word
is
Vasudev,
the transformation of Krishna. Like the transformation
yeah.
of Krishna is Balram. So you can call him avatar or an expansion. So Krishna only becomes Balram. In a very simple word, we can understand like this. Krishna only becomes Sankarshan, Pradyumna, and these four agencies. So one element will take care of the Chitta, another element will take care of Ahankar. So this is all the beautiful, the chronology of the creation. But we need to take interest and read more and more, and slowly we'll get. And internet is full of resources.
There is one thing, sorry, have one query. You said like Krishna abode is like above Vishnu. There is he lives in another abode, and then another loka. Then Krishna upper loka something. So how, I mean, both are same, right? Krishna and Vishnu. So how they live in different
Expansion,
lokas?
avatar. So Krishna, the best way to describe Krishna as avatari, and Vishnu as the avatar. So Vishnu is the Purush avatar of Krishna. It's like, one of the very easy way to understand is the actor and the roles. Let's say Amitabh Bachchan. He is Amitabh Bachchan, the film, the hero. But in different movies, he has different roles. In one movie, he is a police inspector. In one movie, he is a doctor. In another movie, he is a coolie. In another movie, he is a gangster. Another movie, he is a don. So is he a different person? No. In every role, he is the same Amitabh Bachchan, but he is taking different roles. So there is no difference at all. But for the particular situation, there is a difference because he is only acting as a police inspector. He is not showing other aspects of his. So this is the subtle difference. So that is how we should understand that Krishna is the common factor. He is the avatari. There is nothing beyond Krishna, but same Krishna expands into different roles, and that is the difference. So there is a difference between Vishnu and Krishna in that sense, but there is no difference also.
Thank you.
Thank you, Rajesh ji. I think we are on time. Thanks for your effort and then giving time to all the UK people. Yeah. With this, we will just close the session. Srimad Sadhguru Sarkar ki.
Hare ki jai.
Jai Jai Sri Radhe.
Sri Radhe.
Jai Jai Sri Radhe.
Sri Radhe.
Jai Jai
Sri Radhe.
I'd also quickly like to thank Hema for her bhajan. It was beautiful. Thank you, Hema. Radhe Radhe.
Yeah.
Thank you, Hema.
Radhe Radhe.